Welcome to Streams of Income with self-help author Ryan Rieger. For the next hour, you'll hear proven methods for how to live the multiple income streams dream. Ryan is passionate about helping others discover their gifts and start their own business. He's published 5 books, and his courses and group coaching programs have changed the lives of thousands of students all over the world. Ryan's books include Private Label, The Easy Way, Finding Your Grace Place, and his latest, Streams of Income. And now, here's your host, Ryan Rieger.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Streams of Income radio show. I'm your host, Ryan Rieger. Wow, what a week it has been. This is by far one of the craziest times I think that I have ever seen in my life with this whole coronavirus thing going around. Cities are on lockdown. I live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And just yesterday, a judge in Tarrant County ordered everyone to essentially stay at home unless you needed to go to work, go to a hospital, go to a pharmacy or a grocery store to get food and supplies. So crazy, crazy times. We're going to get into some more encouragement because I know that some of you are struggling, you're hurting, you're concerned, you're fearful about what's going on here. And I just want to inject a dose of encouragement into you. Tell you about some things that have happened in my life, not like exactly like this, but have brought up the same fears that many of you might be going through right now, that you're battling with right now. And I want to help you get over that and also give you some practical things that you can do and be doing right now during this kind of crazy time. And also, I was telling my wife today, it feels like Saturday all the time. Almost like we're all on, a long summer break, and just it doesn't feel like normal day-to-day life. A lot of the day hasn't really changed for us because we work from home, and I'm here with my son all the time and my wife all the time, so that hasn't changed at all. But just the feeling, it feels like just like a long vacation. And so what do you do with that? And how do you get back into the normal? So I'm going to talk about that. But first, I just want to say, guys, a lot of the fears I know that some of you have are related to finances. And a big reason why we're just not fearful about that is through some of the strategies that we talked about in our last episode 32, with my friend Mark Willis of Lake Growth Financial. He's my main sponsor for our show. You can go to yourstreamsofincome.com for more information about how you can get a free, essentially a free assessment call with him or one of his advisors, just to show you some of the strategies that Elaine and I use to protect our finances. And it's just super cool. So yourstreamsofincome.com. It's been a huge blessing for us, and I know it will be for you. So go to yourstreamsofincome.com. And Mark, thank you so much for sponsoring this show. Guys, this is crazy times. Very crazy. I've never seen anything like it. But let me tell you this. God's got this. This was not a surprise to him. He saw this coming. And guys, he has the way planned out for our escape. He knows exactly how this is going to turn out, He is a good God. He loves you. And he has everything planned for you. And so let me tell you about some things that I've gone through in my life, especially within the last 11 years, that have brought up some of the same concerns, same fears. And just, I hope it'll encourage you because, there were times that I had no idea what was going to happen. I had no idea how I was going to provide for my family. I had no idea just the next steps. And the Lord had it all planned out. And so I look back at some of these times and it gives me encouragement. It gives me faith to keep going. And I just know that he's got this taken care of. And so it helps me not to be concerned. And guys, I hope this encourages you. So my story, I know some of you know this and some of you have seen this, but or heard me talk about this many times. But in 2008, I was working for a political campaign in Southern Indiana, and we lost that race. And so I was actually all excited about, going to DC and being that person's chief of staff, and it didn't work out that way. And now I look back over my life, and I'm glad it didn't work out that way. I'm definitely not glad that gentleman lost the race. He was a good man and would have been very helpful. But I'm glad that it turned out that way for me personally, because I moved to Texas and my life would be drastically different. Now, God would have done really cool things and it would have been great either way, but I'm really glad this path happened. He saw this, and I am just thrilled now looking back at how that turned out. So I moved to Texas, and guys, I had no idea what I was going to do. I knew I was going to get married, but I had no idea how I was going to feed Melaine and I. And so my mother-in-law and Melaine had a furniture business. They were selling on Craigslist, very part-time. And when I moved here, I had always wanted to be an entrepreneur. I had that entrepreneurial bug inside me. And so I did go look for jobs. I did put out resumes, but my heart was in being an entrepreneur. And so I just dove headfirst into this furniture business. And instead of, 1 and 2, 3 ads a day, we were posting a lot every single day. And that first month, guys, was not great. We sold like $8,000 in the month of December with furniture. Now that might sound like a lot, 8,000, but when you're dealing with furniture that's $250, $500, $1,000 each, that's not a lot of sales. And so it was not very encouraging at all. So you look back at, if I'm standing, looking at my business at December 31st, 2008, looking back over the last month, I'm wondering how in the world is this going to happen? How will this ever grow to become what it needs to be to feed us and grow? But guys, God was there. He knew what 2009 had in store for us. And in 2009, we'd sold $250,000 in furniture just on Craigslist, just in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. He blessed it. Had I quit and done something completely different, I would have never seen 2009. Or it would have been totally different anyway. And so it was awesome. Worked out really well. I was driving all over the Metroplex delivering furniture. Now I can't imagine doing that now. I'm so blessed to be able to do what I do, and I can't imagine doing just that type of work. But it was awesome. It was fun then. It was a stepping stone into other things. It was financially lucrative for us. But now I'm in my zone. I'm doing what I love to do. And it certainly doesn't include selling furniture, but I'm thankful for that opportunity then, because that got me to where I am now. So fast forward to 2012. This was like April of 2012. So by that time, actually, I'll go back to 2010. We were selling furniture in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, and I delivered furniture all over the place. But I also had lots of people that wanted to come to our house and save I think it was the $75 delivery fee. So we'd have people all throughout the day, many times, coming to our house to pick up. And that upset one of our neighbors, don't know which one, but they essentially told the city that we lived in that we were running a business out of our home. Not that that was a problem, I guess, but it's just that it was disruptive to the neighborhood, and they didn't like having all the cars there, and so they complained, and we got a letter from the city saying that we could no longer operate our business out of our home in that fashion. So that, guys, that was a blow. That was seriously a moment where you're wondering, God, what are we going to do? How are we going to continue to do this? This is all we had been doing for a year and a half or so. And so that rocked our world for a while. But I can tell you that even in the midst of that, you look at that letter and it's scary, guys. You might be going through something that is scary. This coronavirus thing is uncomfortable. It's not fun. Yes, it can be scary. Yes, you see people who are getting sick, and you wonder if you're next. You sneeze and you wonder if you've got it, or you see somebody next to you sneeze and you wonder, oh no, are they sick? And so that letter, you you got a bad doctor's report about something, or maybe you're looking at your bank statement and it's like the same thing, the same feeling we felt when we got that letter from the city saying we could no longer operate out of our home. It's like a punch in the gut. But I can tell you, even in the midst of that, even in the midst of that bad news, we had a peace that God had this, and that he knew it was not a surprise to him that we were going to get that letter. And we believe that he had a new plan for us, a new door. I believe, guys, that when God closes, or when one door closes, and it may not even be God, it may be, the enemy closing doors and wreaking havoc, that God can take that and turn it into something awesome. So we just chose to believe that God was going to work this out, was going to restore, was going to show us a different way, that wasn't the end of our business. And so we then started looking for retail stores, retail sites. And after meeting with several realtors and looking at several spots, we found one at an amazing deal. It was only about 2,000 square feet of space, which for a furniture store is really small, but the rent was very manageable. And so we just started going to the furniture store every day. We actually opened up that shop, filled it up with furniture, and started going there every day and continued to run our business out of the store. I can tell you, though, we did not enjoy being in the store very much, because then we couldn't sit around at home and work in our underwear or our pajamas. And so that was not I can look back over our business and saying that, that year, 2010 and 11, that we had that shop was not our favorite part of the business, but it opened up so many other doors for us. So having that store, which was a good thing to be able to continue to do business, but then we get into it and fairly quickly realize that we didn't enjoy having a retail store, because we, had to go in even when it wasn't busy. But what that did, guys, was open us up to some other really neat opportunities. So because now we had a retail store, we were able to then source wholesale companies that would only work with us if we had a brick and mortar business. And so we did. The other thing that it did was open up the opportunity for us to do freight shipping. So we could have a semi truck pull up to the back of the shop, and we could deliver furniture all over the country. Now, could we have done that from our home? Yes, we could have. It would have been challenging. I don't know that we could have had it. Definitely couldn't have had a semi come in front of our house all the time. That definitely would have upset the neighbors. But I can tell you that led, having that store, even though it wasn't pleasant, that led to opportunities to expand across the country. So the Lord took something that wasn't so great and turned it into something that actually expanded our business. So our business grew tremendously, because now we were not only putting ads out on the Dallas-Fort Worth area, we were putting ads out all over the country and shipping all over the country, because now we had a base, a home base, where trucks could come and pick up from us. So it changed our business, it revolutionized our business because of in that letter. Had we not gotten that letter, we would have just continued to be selling in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, maybe eventually expanded, I don't know, but that gave us the reason to expand. It gave us the knowledge of how to do it. And so I'm thankful now for that letter from the city saying that we had to leave. The other thing that it did was open us up to, we found a warehouse. So even after we closed the retail store, we were able to continue shipping furniture nationwide by that relationship we had with this warehouse, so we could fulfill stuff from. So opened up that door. And so business was humming along really well until April of 2012. I wake up one day and I saw that most of our ads on Craigslist in a very large section of the country were deleted. So I think I've mentioned this on the podcast before, but they were all pink. Man, can you imagine? Just looking at maybe a PayPal account or your bank account, and let's say that you had $10,000 in there one day, and then you wake up the next day and it's down to one. Guys, that's the equivalent of what that day was like, where you look at your business and you're like, what are we going to do? Where are the orders going to come from? We're posting ads and they get deleted almost immediately. Found out later, we think there was bots and that were able to flag our ads, a competitor probably doing it. But we didn't know what to do. But again, God did. He had it all planned out. That was not a surprise to him. He had our provision already set even before that happened. And so what that then made possible was that we started looking at other avenues, and we started looking at ways to pivot. And so Jim Cockrum, and I've mentioned this story many times, but Jim Cockrum had my friend and mentor, had an auction for his book, 101 Free Marketing. It was an auction on eBay with the profits and the proceeds going to Hope Village in Detroit, a nonprofit organization that a friend of his runs. I woke up the day of the auction and knew that we had to win that. And so I prayed about it, and I told Melaine the amount that we needed to spend. Guys, I believe it was $1,500. I felt like I was supposed to bid $1,500 for that auction. Let me tell you, $1,500 is a lot of money. It was a heck of a lot of money then. Our business was not anywhere near where it is now. And so $1,500 was a huge, huge, huge investment for us. But it was a leap of faith, and I knew we were supposed to do it. So I bid that $1,500 and we won. And what that opened up, was so many more opportunities, so many more doors. And had everything just been humming along just totally fine on Craigslist, I probably would not have been even concerned. I would not have been looking for an opportunity to expand. I would have been looking for an opportunity to pivot, and I would have passed on that auction. The reason that auction was so valuable to us was not because of the book we got or the other prizes. There were some courses in there, but the thing that I wanted the most was that call with Jim. And as you know from past episodes, if you're new to this podcast, I'll tell you, it was going to be a 30-minute call. I emailed Jim and said, hey, my parents live close to you in Indianapolis area. Can I come take you out to lunch instead of a call? And Jim is a super gracious guy, agreed to that, and spent 2 hours with Melaine and I at lunch in Indianapolis. And that started a friendship and a relationship that continues to this day. And I can tell you that because of that partnership and that friendship that was forged that day in, I think, August of 2012, Jim and I have partnered together and created hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of products and services together. And I am grateful to that. The point of that, though, is to tell you that, God knew that day that I woke up and saw all those ads deleted, he knew. And I can tell you also, yes, it was scary. Yes, I was wondering what's going to happen. Yes, there's a temptation to let that fear grip you, to wonder how you're going to make ends meet, how you're going to pay those bills. How am I going to take care of my wife and I? But even in the midst of that, I had a peace deep down inside that God was going to take care of us. And let me tell you right now, with this whole coronavirus thing, guys, I'm getting messages. I'm seeing people say on social media that they're concerned, they're scared. And guys, I get it. I understand. Yes, it is. If you just watch the news all the time, it's so easy to be fearful about it. It's so easy to keep your eyes on that and just allow that just to continually get in your mind and your heart and just to be surrounded by fear. But let me tell you guys, none of this, every single one of this, none of this was a surprise to God. He knew this was coming. And let me tell you, he has your escape planned. If you lost your job, if your business has decreased, I mean, there's a lot of folks in my community, their business is actually increasing because they're selling on Amazon and people are going online in droves to buy online. And so their businesses are actually increasing. And then because they're selling a lot of like the essential items that Amazon's allowing to be sent in right now. But I know there's some that their businesses are decreasing and they're concerned. And people that I know that have lost their jobs or laid off or just sent home without pay, I understand it can be very, very scary. But God has this. He loves you. He's going to take care of you. Some scriptures, I know that, I shared some scriptures in the last episode, but guys, and this is not normally what I do on this podcast. This podcast is normally about helping you create streams of income. But I just felt compelled to go this route this time. And it's okay if you decide to wait to the next one and just stop this one here. That's totally cool. I just feel like I'm supposed to encourage you some more, help you guys get through this, to let you know that God's going to take care of you. Hebrews 13:5-6 is a scripture that I run to a lot when I just feel like I don't know what to do. So God, as part of it says, God himself has said, I will not in any way fail you, nor give you up, nor leave you without support. I will not in any degree leave you helpless, nor forsake, nor let you down, which also says, relax my hold on you. That's an amplified version, amplified classic version. So he will not leave you nor forsake you or let you down. And in parentheses, it says, relax my hold on you. Assuredly not. So we take comfort and are encouraged and confidently and boldly say, the Lord is my helper. I will not be seized with alarm. I will not fear or dread or be terrified. What can man do to me? Hopefully that verse is encouraging to you as it is to me. This is one of my go-tos for sure. When I'm nervous, I start to feel anxious, worry starts to well up in me. I go to this verse and I know that God's got me. I love where it says, relax. He will not relax his hold on you. So my son's almost 3 years old, and he's almost now at a point where he can come down the stairs and we're not really too concerned. But many times we'll still hold his hand, and it's not enough for me to have him hold my hand. I want to be holding his hand. And it's just safer. I feel safer that way. I feel he's safer that way. And so that's the same way with God. We can hold his hand, but he's really the one that has us. Guys, let him hold your hand. Let him take that. Let him take that burden. Let him remove that fear, that worry, that anxiety that might be trying to grip you today. Another passage of scripture that's meant a lot to me, when there's times that I just don't know what to do. I don't know where the money's going to come from. I don't see the provision. It's in 2 Chronicles chapter 20. This is King Jehoshaphat of Judah. So this is when the Moabites, the Ammonites, and the Meunites came against Jehoshaphat to battle, and it was told to Jehoshaphat, a great multitude has come against you from beyond the Dead Sea, and from Edom, and from Hazon Tamar, which is En Gedi. And then verse 3 of 2 Chronicles 20 says, then Jehoshaphat feared. Guys, sometimes the first reaction is fear. It's okay, but don't let that sit there. Okay, fear's gonna come at you. It's gonna try to just attach itself to you, but don't let it just sit there. It's like you can't stop a bird from landing on your head, but you can sure stop it from building a nest. Do not let that fear build a nest on you. So verse 3 says, Jehoshaphat feared and set himself determinedly as his vital need to seek the Lord. He proclaimed a fast in all of Judah. Then it says that he prayed. So here's part of his prayer. It says in verse 6, O Lord God of our fathers, are you not God in heaven? And do you not rule over all the kingdoms of the nation? In your hand are power and might, so that none is able to withstand you. Did you not, O our God, drive out the inhabitants of this land before your people Israel and give it forever to the descendants of Abraham, your friend? So he's like reminding God of what he's done before. That's many times where I draw faith from, is I look back at what God has done in my life and I see, guys, he's been faithful to me. He's been faithful through this. He can be faithful again. He brought me through that. He's going to bring me through this again. So think back to those times when you faced an impossible situation or a situation you didn't like and God brought you out of it. Let that fuel your faith. Verse 9 says, so he's continuing to pray, if evil comes upon us, this is interesting. If evil comes upon us, the sword of judgment or pestilence, that sounds familiar with pestilence, the things we're dealing with now with the coronavirus, or famine, we will stand before this house and before you, for your name is in this house, and cry to you in our affliction, and you will hear and save. And I'll skip down to verse 12. O our God, will you not exercise judgment upon them? Talking about his enemies. For we have this is a key one to me, for we have no might to stand against this great company that is coming against us. So it's like saying, God, there's not much we can do about this coronavirus thing. Yeah, we can wash our hands. Yes, we can stay indoors, but there are people getting sick, and they're not sure how they got sick, and so you can start to feel helpless. So we have no might to stand against this great company as coming against us. You have no control over what might happen to you because of it. You have no control over maybe if you lost your job. But here it is right here. And Jehoshaphat says in his prayer, we do not know what to do, but our eyes are upon you. Guys, look to heaven. God's got this taken care of. He loves you deeply. He cares for you affectionately. There's another verse in the New Testament that says he cares about you. He cares for you affectionately and cares about you watchfully. Again, this was not a surprise to him. He knew this was coming, and he has your provision all planned out, your protection all planned out. But what are some practical things? So I know some of you are like, yeah, hurry up and get through all this Bible stuff, and that's totally cool. What are some practical things that you can be doing right now in the midst of all this? Some things that I'm going to be doing that during this time, especially when it feels like we're all on vacation. Again, it feels like it's a big weekend or a big long summer break, or like it's Saturday all the time. Number one, for me here spiritually, again, take a knee, pray. When you don't know what to do, pray. Do what Jehoshaphat says. We don't know what to do, but our eyes are upon you. Spend some time in prayer. Spend more time getting to know the Lord. That time is a crucial time, and it will you'll never never regret time spent in the presence of the Lord. For me, when I'm down, and another number two thing I like to do is I love taking walks, and I'll combine prayer and taking walks. And in fact, I did that today. And I did that a couple of days ago as well. I love walking around and praying. It's a time for me just to get quiet. We have my son Callan's almost 3, and so he can be wild, and it can be very distracting in the house, and not a ton of quiet time except for like right now when he's in bed. So take a knee, take a walk, go out and get some fresh air. It's amazing the number of people that were out today walking because of all this. They feel stuck in their homes. Go get some exercise and just get out of the house. But especially take some time to, as you go around exercising, also just spend time in prayer. That's been key for me. I'll tell you guys, some of the best business ideas I've ever got are from spending time in prayer. No doubt about it. And so I encourage you to do that. So take a knee, take a walk. Number 3, take a course. Not all these start with take. Couldn't figure out how to make that happen, but take a course. Of other ways to say that is invest in yourself. The best investment you can make is in yourself. And so this is a perfect time to, if you're like me, I have multiple courses sitting on my hard drive that I've not gone through. I have multiple books I've not even cracked open that I want to read that are on my to-read list. Now, this is a great time to get into some of that, to take that time where it feels like we're on vacation and dig into a new subject, learn something new. It doesn't even have to be business related. Maybe there's a novel you've been wanting to read. Start reading it. Maybe there's a subject you want to start learning about. Do it. Maybe there's a language you want to start learning. Do that. If it's a business course, great. Now is the time to take advantage. You can take advantage of this time. Talking to somebody today, actually my friend and a business partner, Jenny Hunt, about how, in their household, they feel like the last week has been all a vacation, and they've kind of, flittered away this opportunity, that not really, making it more like a big break and not doing normal work. Don't do that the whole time that we're in our homes. Take advantage of this time. Try to make it as normal as possible, and but dig into something new. Invest in yourself. Find a course and dig into it. Number 4, start a new stream of income. So I know some of you are having to pivot. I know some of you maybe are facing the loss of a job, or just pay cut. I have a friend whose hours at work have been cut in half. Guys, that's serious. That's a big blow to him and his family. And so if that describes you, start a new stream of income. Now is the time to do it. If you have any idea, you have any questions about this, I love the brainstorming process. In fact, I have a clarity call that you could jump on with me, and we can go through some of this. It's an hour to an hour and a half call where I go through and just help you figure out what that next step could be for you. It's a brainstorming call to figure out what may be a way for you to create income from something that something that you're passionate about. But start a new stream. Grab my book, or grab the free download, The Streams of Side Hustle Income. There are like 50 different ways in there to make money now, all the way from donating plasma to selling on Amazon, or buying things from thrift stores and garage sales. Might not be doing a whole lot of that right now because we're kind of shut in, but you can buy stuff online and sell it online. So take this time to start a new stream of income. Get it started now and have it going. Number 5, refuse to worry. Kind of goes along with what I talked about this whole episode. That worry can come at you. You can start to feel like a vice grip around you, and refuse it. Don't let it stick around. Yes, you're going to feel it for a bit, but start looking at the word. Look at some of these scriptures that I mentioned here. Feed on that. Take your eyes off the news. As Jehoshaphat says, we do not know what to do, but our eyes upon you. Take your eyes off the news. Put your eyes on the Lord. Number 6, stay involved in community. So a lot of you that are listening might be selling online, and you're already involved in a online community of other sellers. Stay involved in that community. Ask questions. If you're craving social connection, do it online. Find people to connect with online. I'm using Zoom to record my podcast right now, and Zoom is a great platform to connect with people. If you're used to going out to coffee with folks, or maybe you have small groups and those are canceled, stay involved with them by using a software like Zoom or Skype or even a Facebook group. You can go live in a Facebook group and keep that community going. That is vital during this time. Don't shut yourself off from everybody, especially if you're in business. You've got to have that community of people to kind of cheer you on, to keep you going. There are going to be times when you're frustrated. There are going to be times when you just have a question. You need an answer. That community can be very helpful during those times. And last, number 7 is serve someone else. I find, guys, when I have a bad day or I'm starting to be down about something in business, if I get on a call with somebody, I help them through an issue, my attitude changes immediately. That problem that I was having seems so small. Because I start to take my mind off of me, take my mind off of my problems, and I start to help somebody else. It just gives me, it's because that's something I love to do anyway. I love helping people. I love helping them through challenges, and it energizes me. So it takes my mind off of things I'm doing, things I'm going through, and allows me to put my focus on them. So serve somebody else. Who can you help during this time? A lot of senior citizens that are nervous about going grocery shopping. Do you have a friend? Do you have a neighbor that is older and doesn't want to get out of the house and is not sure how to use the internet to get groceries delivered? But even with that, I've heard that some of the grocery deliveries are so super backed up right now. Could you go to the store for that person and do that delivery for them? That will just take your mind off of things that you're going through and the hardship that you're having, and allow you to serve somebody else. It'll just give you some joy and bless them in the process. So guys, that's what I have for you. The practical things: take a knee, take a walk, take a course, meaning invest in yourself, start a new stream of income, refuse to worry, stay involved in community, and serve someone else. Those are the 7 practical keys. But I just mostly, again, wanted to encourage you in this episode to let you know that God's got this. Don't worry about your finances. He's your provider. He is your source. If you're selling on Amazon, Amazon's not your source. He is. Look to him. Look to him as your provider. He's going to get you through this, guys. And I know that not all of you are believers, and that's okay. If you have any questions about that, feel free to email me, ryan@ryanreger.com, ryan@ryanreger.com. Happy to talk to you about that. I'll be honest with you. The best decision I ever made in my entire life has been to make Jesus the Lord of my life. And I would not be where I am in business. I would not be where I am in my life if it wasn't for him. And so he loves you guys. And your life will change. If you're not a believer and you want to be, feel free to email me questions about that. I'll point you to some free resources about that. But just don't worry, guys. He's got this. He's going to take care of you. If you have business questions, you have business concerns, you want me to pray with you about something, send me an email. Again, ryan@ryanreger.com. I read all my email. I will get back to you as quickly as I possibly can. I've got 5 or 6 emails I need to respond to from people that have listened to me in the last episode. And so I'll get to you, I promise. I cherish those emails. It means a lot to me that you confide in me some of the things that you guys do. And it's an honor to pray for you, to help you. and I want to do that for you. So if there's anything I can do to help, guys, feel free to reach out. I love you. It's an honor that you are taking the time to listen to me. This means a lot. I know you have a lot of different things, like I said before, to be able to occupy your time. And it means the world to me that you would take the opportunity to listen to this episode and my other episodes. So feel free to subscribe. That helps me out a lot. If you're listening on Apple, especially, hit the subscribe button. That means the world to me. Helps me out. Continue to do these episodes. So that's what I have for you guys. Again, reach out if you have questions. I'm here to serve you, and I will see you on the next episode.
You've been listening to Streams of Income with self-help author Ryan Rieger. From right here in the Dallas Metroplex, Ryan teaches several entrepreneurial courses and group coaching programs to students all over the world. Be sure to listen next week at the same time for Streams of Income with Ryan Rieger.